The women's basketball team closed out their season in a big way, taking down the Big Blue of Milliken on senior night at Gregory Arena. There's only one place you can catch a recap of the 2011-2012 campaign, right here on the Cardinal Report. Welcome to the Cardinal Report. I'm Marc Dahlquist. Joining me to start things off this week is women's head basketball coach, Michelle Rood. Coach, thanks for coming by.
Thank you for having me, Mark. I appreciate it.
So after a tough CCIW schedule, the Cardinals finally come away with a win against Milliken that had to feel good.
Oh, it felt great. It felt great. I mean, we've worked all season and, got down to the end and wasn't sure it's going to happen. The kids, the players kept fighting and kept working for it. So to come away with a win, and a win against, a good team, a playoff team, it was exciting, but it was also a little bit of a relief. And
you say you guys, were waiting for it to come down to the wire. It seemed a lot of the contests went down to the wire this year, but the ball just didn't bounce your way.
You're absolutely right. We were in basketball games and we made runs and we even had leads at the end of games. We just had a really, really hard time finishing games out, and it seemed like, we either needed to make a play, and in those situations, we didn't make the play, but someone on their team would step up, someone that hadn't really contributed much of the game, and hit a big shot that would kind of take us out of it. So yeah, to be able to finish one of them, it was fantastic.
What was the mentality like in the locker room, before that game?
Well, it was senior day, and on that day, we really talk a lot about the seniors and playing for them and just enjoying one more opportunity to go out as a team and perform and play the game that they love. And so that's really what the message was. It was just enjoy the day, play for Emily, play for Helen. Let's thank them for everything that they've given us by going out, playing well, and getting a win. It
had to feel good to, send away Helen and Emily with the win. It feels like those two have contributed so much to this team.
They have. They really have had a good season. I think both of them, I would say we're our strongest on-the-court leaders consistently throughout the year. And so to send them away that way, I mean, their teammates stepped up big and got it done for them. And they did too. They both had very big games Saturday, which we knew we needed in order to put us in a position.
And they had big games throughout the season. I mean,
absolutely.
Helen led your team in assists. She led your team in steals. She really, was the quarterback, I guess, of your team. Who's going to maybe possibly step up and fill that void next year?
Well, I think the two players that we have, that you're going to talk with a little bit later, we are absolutely going to be depending on to step up and do a lot of things, rebound, score points, but also be kind of the vocal leaders of the team, along with Emily Murphy, who's going to be a senior next year. Had a really nice season this year, too. And then we've got some youngsters that should be able to step up, some freshmen that will now be sophomores and, going up. But I think Sophie and Jenny Swanson are going to need to have a big year.
We look forward to seeing that. The Cardinal Report was there to see the team close out the season on a high note. In case you missed it, let's go to the highlight. Senior day at Gregory Arena for Emily Collins and Helen Malaya as the Cardinals get ready to take on the Big Blue of Milliken and their top scorer, Crystal Ziegler. The Big Blue were taking care of business from long range early on. Beth Wilbaum gives Milliken the lead 8 minutes in. On the next possession, Cecily Aldridge from the corner makes it a 4-point Big Blue lead. Even when the shots weren't falling, the players in the blue jerseys were there to clean up the mess, as Julia Robert can't convert, but Crystal Ziegler right there to put it home. Her 3-point play gives Milliken a 25-19 lead. But the Cardinals seniors respond. Helen Malaya finds Emily Collins for the 12-footer. Then Callie Resin would cut the Big Blue lead to 2. Malaya bounces a nice pass to Lauren Shoemaker in the paint, and her bucket would pull the Cardinals even at 26. Same combo, same result, as Shoemaker's bucket with 28 seconds left gives the Cardinals a 2-point lead at the break. In the second, North Central comes out fired up and extends the lead thanks to Callie Resin from the corner. Milliken going with a zone defense and again forgets to account for a Cardinal in the corner. This time it's Jenny Swanson burying it. Emily Collins would join in on the fun from the outside in front of her home fans to extend the Cardinal lead. She would try for number 2 unsuccessfully, but have no fear, Callie Resin was there for the offensive board and the putback. She had a team-high 16 points, and the Cardinals led by as many as 15 in the second half. Big Blue go back to what was working in the first. as Aldridge and Robert hit a pair of long balls to cut the lead back to 7. But the seniors wouldn't let this one get away. Malaya had a game-high 7 assists, this one to Emily Murphy down low. And leave it to Emily Collins to put the nail in the coffin late. She would finish with 14 points, and the Cardinals send the seniors out in style, closing out the season with their first CCIW win. So, Coach, a big win against Milliken, and it really showed that the youth of this team knows how to step up as well. Your leading scorer on the day was a freshman in Callie Resin. Yeah, Callie had a nice season. She was starting for us on and off throughout the year, and really did some big things. She had some big scoring spurts in a couple of games early in the season, but defensively, offensively, she likes to push the tempo. She's a pretty smart player out there, takes good shots, and was able to finish on Saturday, and that's just what we needed. And it seems like as you guys got later into the season, you had a deeper bench. You were getting more girls in there. What was the strategy behind that to see, what you maybe have for the court next year? Yeah, well, I think so. We wanted to get players as much as experience as possible, but also if you look at our roster and our statistics, we really didn't have a lot of separation, between our top 5 and our top 10, right. As most teams do and as we have in the past. So, really every game we felt like we had a lot of players that could potentially step up and get the job done, both from the scoring end, rebounding end, and the defensive end. So, we had a lot of players neck and neck, and it was just a matter of night in, night out who would kind of take the lead on the leaderboard. Yeah, your top 6 scorers were actually within almost 1 point of each other average per game. Does that make it harder to match up against you guys since you really don't have that go-to player? You have so many different players that can contribute? Well, I think in a way it does. We felt like our bench was a lot deeper than other teams, so we could get out and run. We started playing a lot more full-court defense at the end of the season. But I really do think one of the reasons that we really struggled finishing in these games is it depended on the night with who our go-to player was, in certain situations. So I would, challenge these guys that are here today and the rest of our players. We really need somebody to step up and be our go-to player, when the shot clock's running down. And that's something that we'll be looking for to move forward to. Somebody that wants the ball in their hands. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, one player that that didn't see the bench too much this year, you'll be losing next year in Emily Collins. She averaged over 28 minutes a game. Yeah. How are you going to replace those minutes on the court? I think we've got some players that can step in, and contribute a little bit. I think they can pick it up from a rebound standpoint, point standpoint. But the thing that Emily brought was a type of toughness that really kind of drove our team. She led our team in number of charges taken, kind of in those what we call X factor categories, right. that really determine the toughness and the grit of a player. And Emily was our true X factor. She was our tough player out there. And it seems like those X factor statistics are so important, especially when the team isn't, getting the W's. Absolutely, absolutely. So how does the team, take those X factor statistics, I guess you can say, and apply that to improve in wins next year? I think we just have to continue to focus on it in practice and challenge players to step up and really elevate their game. I thought we could have done that a little bit more throughout the season, was have players kind of elevate and rise to the occasion. But that's what happens sometimes when you do have a little bit of youth in the program. I think Sophie does a nice job. She's our other X-factor player that really gets in there and plays hard and gives everything all the time. So I think she'll need to lead that group next year too. Well, the youth of this program can only get older, but you're still going to be bringing in your recruits. This is the first season we saw your recruits essentially. Yeah. Does the recruiting process start after that final whistle, or is it a year-round thing? Oh, the recruiting process started after the final whistle last year. We get out in the summer is when the majority of it starts. A little bit in the spring and then in the summer. And, we've picked our kids throughout the year, and then we've, given them some attention, got out and to see them play. We've gotten them on campus for visits, and my players are really involved with that process. We feel like we have a good class that we're trying to shape and kind of finish up on right now. It's one of those things that you don't talk about recruiting until it you don't want to jinx yourself. No, that's fine. But we're excited about the possibilities and the student athletes that we have had on campus, and look forward to the future for sure. And what are some of the things from this year's squad that you hope that will carry into next year?
I just think their never give up attitude. You know, it's tough when you are not winning in this conference, and the conference is so physical and so tough night in and night out. The way they came back, and every day they worked hard in practice, and every game they came in to win and they came in to compete. And after every game, they were upset, they were devastated. So I think just that will to win, the will to compete, and the drive that they brought, even when things weren't going well for us. I mean, they showed it on Saturday to be able to come back after that type of a start and beat a good team like that. They never let down.
And that really seems to be the mentality of this team. They didn't get used to losing. They never liked it, even when times were going bad. You know, it seemed to affect them.
Yeah, and I think that's attributed to our leadership. Our seniors, Helen and Emily, I mean, they were upset after every one of those games. Same thing, it trickles down. You know, and when you have sophomores, juniors, and seniors that want to win, that gets upset when things aren't working well, and that want to work to make them better every day in practice, you know, everything just kind of falls into place, and we get a little bit better every day, which is, I think, what started to happen towards the end of the season.
Well, hopefully that mentality will carry into next season. But what is something that this team, you know, may need to work on in the offseason to add?
Well, I think we have a couple of positions that we really need to fill. With losing Helen and Emily, we need to work on, you know, our post play, I think, is big. I think we got better. You know, we scored a few more points in the post this year. Post defense, the same thing. And offensively, I mean, our players just need some more confidence. You know, we need to get back in the gym. They need to start shooting around again and start playing to have a little bit of fun. And once that happens, I think the chemistry, I think the toughness and our post play will develop.
Well, we look forward to that development next season, Coach.
Thank you very much. I do too.
Don't go anywhere, because after the break, Coach and I will be joined by two players hoping to carry the Cardinals' momentum into next season. Keep it right here on the Cardinal Report.